This video is about how to complete the project plan in your AET record book. So you'll find this pencil icon. We're going to continue with this market swine project as an example. The pencil has to do with planning. And so if it has a red X, that means some part of it is incomplete. And when you click on that, you'll see on top, it'll tell you which project you're working on. So in this case, market swine. And then it has 4 tabs: description, time investment, financial investment, learning objectives, and skills. And if any of those tabs have not been completed, then it will show you that red X. So I'm going to show you what it takes to complete this, maybe just for class, just as a requirement. What's the minimum you need to do? And then also, what do you need to do if you're trying to get your state FFA degree or a scholarship or a proficiency award? And you really need to make this a high quality document. The plan is typically one of the toughest things for students to complete because it does take some writing. However, the program has some sentence starters here. So how I started is I just copied all of this and I pasted it into the box below. And as you can see, it's fill in the blank. And so that would be the minimum, is if you just filled in the blank on each of these sentence starters. That is a plan. And that might be perfectly fine for your goals at this time. Okay, but let me show you how to make it a little bit better. So the purpose of this description is a story of what your project is all about, so that someone looking at your book who maybe has never met you, has never visited your project, doesn't know anything about you, only is seeing you on the computer screen here, knows what your SAE project is about and why in the world would you choose to do this. So like any good story, I think that you should start with a clear sentence. This year, my SAE project is a market hog that I plan to raise and sell at the El Dorado County Fair. Very simple. 1 sentence explanation at the beginning. Tell the reader what your project is about. Of course, this will be different for different projects. Then I'm starting with the first sentence starter up here. My interest and motivation for this project, basically, why are you doing this? And I added in a few things, is to learn more about pigs, to take care of my pig to the best of my ability, and to eventually have a high quality project to sell. I would also like to learn more about business. So tell your reader why you are doing this project. What are your hopes? What's your motivation? Then this is just time. When will your project start and when will it end? This date is pretty specific. Our fair ends around Father's Day, so it's typically in mid-June. You can look up the exact date when you do this. The next question is about project goals, and it asks for 3 up here in our template. So write 3 goals. My project goals are: 1, learn more about how to feed and care for a pig. Number 2, work cooperatively with other students at the school farm. And number 3, become a good showman. Now, if you've had this particular type of project a few times, like you're a junior or senior, or you've been in 4-H for a while, your goals, of course, will be different. What I'm writing here is probably for a person who's doing this for the first time, and they have quite a bit to learn. As you get older and more experienced, you'll have different goals. Those will change with you. How will your project be evaluated and supervised? That's usually going to be by your ag teacher or whoever's in charge of that project for our particular school. So I just put Miss Friedman as our example. And she is an industry professional. So she's a good person to have supervising your project. In terms of project safety, so the program and National FFA wants us to think about how to remain safe. So you just take the sentence starter and fill in 3 ideas about safety. So I put include knowing the personality of my pig. Like, is this a nice pig? Is it going to run you over? Is it going to try to bite you? Knowing my surroundings, always be aware of what's around you. Where is the gate? Where's the equipment? You want to make sure you and your animal are not getting hurt by any of those things. And keeping diseases from entering the facility, some biosecurity there. So if you are just doing the minimum plan, I would say you can stop there. And so that's just those sentence starters right here to the middle of our page. However, if you're going on and you're going to apply for some awards with your book, then you have to include these words that I've listed on the bottom. This is a California thing, not a national thing, so I think that's why it's not in the program itself. But California wants you to include land or buildings, capital, which means money, labor, equipment, and profit or loss. California wants you to put those words in here somewhere. So this is one way to set it up. You put what each party involved in the project will provide. So the student, probably a parent, and your ag teacher are all parties involved. So one way to do it is to say this: for my project, I agreed to do the following: feed my pig twice per day at designated times. And in order to fulfill that requirement of the words, I'm going to put and provide all other labor. Okay? Keep my pig's pen and other facilities clean. Follow the advice given by Miss Friedman. Train and exercise my pig on a regular basis. Provide all feed supplies and veterinary care. And then I could even just put in parentheses capital, which means I'm going to pay for it. Capital means money. Okay, so we've taken care of labor and money. So what's left? Equipment, profit and loss, and land and buildings. Well, if you're keeping this at your parents' place, they own the land and the buildings. So you would loop your parents in and say that they will provide the land, the buildings, maybe the electricity, the water, transportation, whatever your parents are agreeing to provide. If you're keeping it at the school farm, then you need to put in a little blurb about Ponderosa High School. And it's not Miss Friedman. She doesn't own the school farm, although she would like to. And so you're going to put something like Ponderosa FFA agrees to provide land, buildings, facilities, and equipment needed for this project. Now, equipment is anything that lasts for more than a year. It's big, expensive purchases that we try not to have our students be responsible for. If we can buy that and have that at the school farm, that's what we do. All right, so we've taken care of all of those words except profit and loss. Okay. We also put in a little piece up here that is another idea about your parents. If you're at the school farm, they're probably going to provide you transportation if you're not driving. They might give you advice. They might help you with time management so you can actually stay organized and do everything you have to do in your life. That's one of the things parents usually do. So at the end, we have to put in these last two words, profit and loss. And so you could say, I will be responsible for any losses in the project. Like if something bad happens, your pig gets sick, or there's some damage done to the facility and you have to pay for it, something like that, okay? And I will receive any profits. So what we hope is that you'll be making some money at the end of this little business venture and you will receive all those profits. So now you've addressed all these pieces, all these words. You've talked about who's involved. You've given a very clear picture of how this project is going to work. And that's what we'd really like to see in this description. We want someone to be able to read this and know exactly what's going on with your project. All right, so remember that we have 3 more tabs up here, but this video is getting a little long, and so I will put these 3 tabs in the next video. Thank you.